Usually it takes me like 100 takes to make a video. I always mess up, stumble on my words, and stutter. But I'm just not going to care this time. I've been asked a few times, because I've mentioned, last year I was able to beat agoraphobia. And then I, obviously ended up right back where I was, how I even did it in the first place. And maybe I sort of need to remind myself as well. So I'm just going to tell that story. And so, in the beginning, I never experienced anxiety before. I was afraid of, things you should be afraid of, I guess, like heights and, real danger, I suppose. But I never felt dizzy before. I never, had to catch my breath or, had a panic attack. Nothing like that. And I was working as a cashier, and I had a UTI, so I had to pee, every 5 minutes. And my boss never wanted to cover my register, so I had to continuously piss her off. And, I was just stuck between long lines of people and having to keep asking to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes, pissing off my boss, and the stress of that. I started to get dizzy, and I felt trapped and sort of like I was just suffocating. That happened for a week or so, and eventually I just couldn't handle it anymore, so I quit. And I remember, walking home, I instantly felt so much better. I walked, I don't know, it probably took 20 minutes to walk home, and no anxiety. It just felt better. I felt free. And I started to get dizzy other places, like at stores and in cars and even in my house. There was a point where I didn't leave my bed for a month. I just would wake up to eat a piece of bread or drink water and go to the bathroom in this bottle that I had. And my wife, who just met me pretty much, we'd only been dating for a month when this happened, she'd be watching TV in the room or whatever, and I couldn't even look at the screen because the screen was making me dizzy. So there was no stimulation or whatever going on. It was just wake up and try to go back to sleep forever. And I'm not exactly sure how I got out of that state. I think I just started moving more, maybe drinking enough water. I'm not really sure. But I never thought that I was dumb enough. That's my choice of words that I used, that I could be doing this to myself. I'm a smart person. There's no way that I could be causing myself anxiety. And so for the first 3 years, I was convinced that I was dead. I wrote and recorded plenty of goodbye letters, oh, I'm sorry I didn't make it, guys. I love you. I'll be watching through the moon. And I probably still have those on my phone. And when I listen to them now, it's what the fuck? I really did think I was dying for 3 years. And people were giving me all the right answers, that it's in my head and I have anxiety, but I just wasn't in the place to hear it and couldn't accept it, and didn't believe it. I honestly just thought I was dying. But, after 3 years not dying, and I started to realize that I felt safe in certain places, when I'm at my house with my wife and just chilling, playing video games, I'm good. And when I go out, there's all these feelings and, physical symptoms of panic. And, I started to realize it's situational. It's, if I'm in a calm state of mind or comfortable environment, I'm fine. But the moment I'm out of my comfort zone, I just lose my mind. And that led me to the thought of, maybe it is anxiety. Maybe I don't know everything, or I don't know much. I've definitely learned since then that it's possible for your brain to do all sorts of crazy things to you and be responsible for just a lot of weird stuff, like, feeling tingles throughout your body, and dizziness and hard to breathe, heart going, just all sorts of horrible sensations, and that, if you never experienced before, it would make sense that there'd be something physically wrong with you. But I was afraid to go to the doctor, so I just, avoided it. I was always convinced that they were going to tell me, you probably got like 2 years to live, or a day to live, and you're probably going to die right now. So I just never wanted to hear that news, and how bad I was feeling. I thought that there was not much time left, so I'd rather not know and just die peacefully not knowing. But anyways, I ended up getting a therapist at like a telehealth, they video call me or whatever. And I went into those conversations thinking that if I don't listen to everything she says, then I'm going to die. Like, I pretended that she was a guardian angel, and as long as I do what she says, I'll get better. And so, the first thing that helped was to be able to prove myself wrong. I've never had to go to the hospital, and even if you have, you've probably been told that you're okay, you got anxiety. But I've never passed out. I've never had a heart attack. I know I have anxiety, which causes all of these symptoms. So being able to prove that I'm not dying in the moment really helped. And then I'm feeling anxious right now. And it's hard to manage. It really is. Like, I feel like I know a lot of stuff, right? And some answers, but it's just like, even knowing it's hard to control it. Anyway, so the next thing that helped me was the progressive muscle relaxation. You hear me talk about it all the time, where you squeeze your fists and you focus on that. And, the trick is with any meditation, it's like grabbing ice, whatever. It's believing that it will work. Because if you go into it thinking it's not going to work, then it won't. But if you allow yourself to believe, if you because all it really is a distraction. So if you're fully focused on something other than your panic, like this water bottle, if I look at it and stare at it more than I'm thinking about my panic, if I start to read the labels and all of my concentration is on it and not me, then my panic will go away. That's exactly how it works. And it makes you feel stupid and small. Like, why can't I just not think about it? Why am I thinking about it? And, that's because I personally think that's because we've become aware of our vulnerability. And when we feel anything, we focus on it, and it's just like an endless, vicious cycle of making it worse. Like, your heart feels weird, so you focus on that, and then now it's hard to breathe, and just continuously focusing on you and your physical symptoms make them worse. And so I had to learn how to stop thinking about myself and think about something else. And I started, doing that successfully and being able to calm myself down, which gave me confidence. I would start going a little further each time, and it got to the point where, if I did feel an anxious thought, I would just literally think about something else. And I remember making fun of myself, thinking like, anxiety, I'm never going to get back to that place. Like, this is easy. I start feeling weird, I will just stop that thought and think about something else. And for a long time it worked, but the problem with what happened with me is that I only had the one coping technique. I had the progressive muscle relaxation. And although it is true, if I were to focus on anything other than myself, it makes you feel just kind of dumb that I have to fucking look at this water bottle or whatever it is to calm down. And we have to get over that shame that like if a situation is making you feel uncomfortable and potentially you're going to upset people, let people down, you have to let all that go. Because a life where you can't leave your house, it's not worth upsetting people for a second, right? And if they're not understanding, if you try to tell them about your panic and they're like, oh, that's stupid, you're just a weak coward, well, that's not a person you really want in your life anyways. Like, you have to let go of the negative feelings surrounding shame and guilt and that you're a burden, because, we only get to live one time and we don't want to live it from the inside of our house, or, in a constant state of imprisonment within our minds. We have to get out. And, a lot of the anxiety or whatever is a negative, focused mindset. Like it's focused on everything that's wrong. And I do believe that if you can distract yourself successfully and, use that love that's within you. I say this all the time, that, love is more powerful than hate, and courage is more powerful than fear. Like, fear consumes our entire world, especially if you've made it as far as enough to be in this group. You've already accepted the fact that you have anxiety and you want help. You want out. And, the only way out is to face your fear. That's the only cure. And to do that successfully and voluntarily. So, if someone drags you out and like, oh, we're fucking going right now, that's not going to help you. Like, that could make it 10 times worse. You have to have control. Because a big part of, anxiety is feeling out of control. Like, there's something wrong with our body and there's nothing we can do about it. And, all of these outside factors. That's why we're in our house, because we can control everything in here. The big thing is, like, to have control within yourself wherever you are. Because in reality, if I needed to call 911 and I'm at the store or here, it's probably going to take the same amount of time for someone to get to me to help me. And, there's nothing your house is doing to protect you. The cool thing is that every time you've ever been to the hospital, or, not, like every time you've ever had a panic attack, you have survived, and they've probably told you it's anxiety and, go home. You are okay. And, anxiety is a lie. Like, it's happening to you. You're feeling it, you're thinking about it, and it's causing physical symptoms. That's all real. But the thoughts contributing to, you're going to die or whatever, they're lying. Obviously, you're still here. And, the cool thing is like there's like a negative aspect and an evil aspect. It's like, all the bad thoughts and horrible things, and also lies, like these horrible things that you're telling yourself, like that everything's wrong and you're gonna die. That is a lie. So it's just all negative on one side, and then the truth on the other. And that's cool. It's cool that the cure to our situation is telling yourself the truth. I'm going to be okay. I have always survived these, and as long as I don't believe in the lies that I'm telling myself, I'm not going to experience anxiety. So I would try to find, the love within your heart, the things that you wish you could do, like go to a family function or whatever, go do anything that you want to do. Use that love, and one step at a time. So, physical symptoms, and physical triggers like heat, right? It's really hot in Arizona, and I stay inside. It's like 70 degrees in my house. It's 120 outside. So when I go outside, I need to stand up. Sorry, I'm having freaking anxiety. So you're just gonna see the top half of me for a second. I just need to see. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna feel shame that I had to get up there. That might be a little bit embarrassing, but fuck it, I'm going to do what I need to do. Anyways, with the heat, it's 70 degrees in my house, 120 outside, and I'm used to the 70. So when I go outside to the 120, it's like fucking hell. And, something that I have been doing recently is been going to my mom's and working outside, because she's only 5 minutes away, and it's like my second safe place. But I've been trying to get used to the heat, and I don't care that you can't see my fucking face. I'm just having anxiety right now, and I'm just gonna handle it in a non guilt, burden, shame way. Fuck it. I might look weird, but I don't care. Anyways, I had to address that. That's like a defense mechanism. Like, if I point it out, you can't point it out for me. Anyways, own what you are. Heat, right? Get your body used to feeling uncomfortable, whether it's heat, whether it's exercise, because when we panic, our heart rate is going. And if you're not moving, like I'm fucking most of the time sitting, right? I'm just chilling, my agoraphobic state, not going anywhere, not doing anything. My body's not used to moving, and people are on their feet like 8 hours of the day, and I usually am on my ass. So, we got to get up, we got to move, and we have to get our heart rate going because, when we panic, our heart rate is obviously going, and if we associate every time our heart rate goes with panic, which is a normal thing for your heart rate to go up, then it's just going to be a trigger like, oh, fuck, my heart's going, this is the end. But in reality, if you were to start exercising in a comfortable, safe state, right? Like you're at home, you're chilling with your partner, whatever, your safest moment. Start exercising. Start getting that heart rate up naturally so every time you feel it, it's not associated with fear and panic and death. And also just any sort of uncomfortableness. See, I'm messing it up, but I'm not going to cut it. This is the real take. I don't care what happens. Any sort of uncomfortableness, right? You need to expose yourself to it. So maybe it's just outside in general. So go sit outside, like in front of your door. Open the door and look at it. There's nothing out there. No one's going to fucking hurt you. Nothing bad is going to happen. And everything that's happening is within your body. That doesn't change if you move from point A to point B. Doesn't change at all. So if it's 10 feet, go 9, stare at it, keep doing that. And obviously when you start to get a couple blocks away from your house, then it's like, what the fuck am I even doing? Would I even be walking somewhere, wandering randomly in a normal situation? And the answer to that is no. So if you can make it a couple blocks to your house, the next step is to go to a store. Go buy something at a store, do something normal. Get a drink, get out, drink it, proud, good, happy. If you have access to people that can help you, especially with a car, like I'm probably more advanced in my agoraphobia because I have my wife and she drives me places. Like without that, it'd be really fucking hard. So if you have your safe person, you need to sit them down. They're right here. They're sitting. And tell them, look, man, I have anxiety and I don't like it. And I want to be better. And, it is a control thing, and when we're in those moments where I'm experiencing or facing my fears, I really just need you to let me have control or take the reins in those moments. If you want to be a fucking loser asshole later, that's cool, I don't care. But when we're in the car, when we're at the store, when we're experiencing fear, if I say I gotta go, we gotta fucking go. Because I need to know that I have control in that moment. And it's not that I'm gonna do it every time, and it's the same thing with the meditation that I used to use. I never really used it that much because I knew I could. It worked one time, and maybe it worked a couple more times, and then I always knew I had that in my back pocket. So it's the same thing with the trust. If you take me home immediately, like 3 times, then I'm going to know in the future, okay, I have that in my back. Worst comes to worst, my partner's not going to get mad at me, and he's going to take me home, or she's going to take me home, and then I'm back to safety. Another thing you can do is what I've starting to do now kind of is get a panic pack or a bravery backpack or whatever the hell you want to call it. Doesn't matter. But get like something to smell. I have wax melts or something. And yeah, something to smell, something to taste. This could be water, whatever. Something cold. So the water bottle is like a 2-for-1. Like I feel the cold and I can drink it. Just something you need to, in the moment when you're feeling anxious, right? You're thinking about your breath, you're thinking about your heart, you're thinking about all the fucking horrible things that are going around you and inside you, and it's all just bad and negative and whatever. You have to stop that thought process. And the cool thing about this smelling technique is a lot of time we feel like we can't breathe, right? Like we're not getting a good enough breath or a full breath. And, if you smell something, you realize, hey, the fact that I can smell this means I'm successfully breathing. I'm breathing in, and, I'm also getting feedback from my breath then from this smell that smells good. And maybe it's a calming smell. So it's like, it's hitting you from multiple angles that you can breathe and you're okay. And, another thing is like, when I'm in the moment, when I'm freaking out in the car, it's like, I'm telling myself everything's wrong and I'm going to die, and my wife knows the difference. And it's the same thing in the chat. When someone's in the chat freaking out, most of the time people are like, everything's going to be okay, you're all right, and they know that they're telling that person the truth. They know that that person's going to be okay. But that person can't tell them themselves that, right? So in the moment when I'm in the car with my wife and I'm freaking out, I'm going to die. And if she hears me say this and she says, no, you're going to be okay, you got this. In that moment, I need to stop listening to me because I'm wrong. I'm not going to die. And she's actually right. And that is a difficult situation because people are dangerous and they will take advantage of you. But if you have someone you fully trust, like a parent or a fucking loved one, whatever, there's someone who's not going to do you harm, then listen to that person in that moment. Understand that your anxiety is fucking a lie. We've already gone through that. It's obviously happening. You're feeling the feelings, but they're being caused by lies. I'm going to die. Something is wrong. I'm sick. I have the flu, therefore death. No, you've been sick a lot. You've been sick multiple times. And just because something feels wrong, because like normal people, they get aches and pains and they feel weird and whatever all the fucking time. The heat, everything that you're feeling that causes the panic, everyone feels that all the time. But they explain it away. Haven't had enough sleep, or they drank too much soda, or they're not exercising enough, or they're just tired, or they fucking bumped their elbow, or they caught a cold. And that's okay. It's okay to be sick. It's okay to not feel your best all the time. I'm not trying to lecture you guys. I'm lecturing me in this moment too. I fucking hate when I feel anything off or weird. I'm like, fuck, it's the end of the goddamn world. But it's a lie. And sometimes you can't listen to yourself. Sometimes you're your own worst enemy. And it's important in those situations. You know, for me, I'm always calling people. I'm like, hey, just say I'm fucking okay. And I will listen to that person because I have to. Because my life depends on it. Because I don't want to be trapped in this fucking bullshit situation where I can't fucking go anywhere. Everyone's living their lives, doing whatever the fuck they want to do, having fun, and I just have to watch it from a fucking screen. I don't want to fucking live like that anymore. I really don't. I have a fucking baby on the way, and I have to go through fear and death itself because I associate all these things with death, right? I have to literally choose to put my hand on a stove that I think is turned on, and it's gonna hurt. And I have to keep my hand there burning until it stops hurting, because in reality, that stove isn't on. But everything in my mind is telling me that it is. And I have to force myself to experience pain and misery. But the truth is it's all a figment of your imagination. And if you can get through the pain and the fear and just the terror of it, on the other side of that is freedom. Because our hand ain't burning, and we're not fucking dying. The last thing I want to talk about is my current and new strategy. And I don't fucking know. I'm trying everything, right? I tell people all the time, Google 100 things and try them all. Because, you know, as long as you think about something else, your anxiety goes away. So try something that makes you feel comfortable. But this new thing, I need a cigarette. And I'm not even going to edit this fucking video. I'm just going to go get a cigarette, and you're just going to have to wait for me. Because it's okay to be a burden. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be an unburdened. You should fast forward this part of the clip because I'm not going to edit it because I'm allowed to be a fucking burden. Anyways, I'll be right back. Who the hell does this guy think he is? Walking away mid fucking talk, mid fucking video, and I'm gonna wait for him? Fuck that. I'm not fucking watching this stupid fucking... Well, if you're here, then you are. And, you know, we have to allow ourselves to... that it's okay to be a burden. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to stumble and fall and to have to go home or have to need a little bit of help. It's okay to mess up. And... you know, it's not like, oh, I'm fucking awesome because I walked away, so I'm proving to you guys that... I don't fucking know, man. I'm not a smart person. I'm just... That is my point, though. It's like, it's okay to mess up. and I really wanted a cigarette. It's mostly the cigarette. It wasn't a point situation. I think I just took advantage of the fact that I needed a cigarette, and I was trying to turn it into a thing that's helpful. I do think it is, though, that it's okay to make mistakes, and it's really not... The huge convenience that I think it is to walk away and go get a cigarette in the middle of a video that I'm just going to post, it would take a millisecond for that person just to fast forward until they see my body come back, if this is a video they even want to watch. And if they don't want to watch it, or that annoys them, that has nothing to do with me, and I really shouldn't care at all. I should even take pauses within my situation to take a hit and enjoy this cigarette, because I really like them. They make me feel good. Yeah, I'm just sitting here. I mean, I have a last thing to say. I'm just... Obviously, I was getting up and down, and I want to enjoy this. Yep. One more. Three's my favorite number, so. And this video is like me procrastinating clean my house. I will clean my house. I'll send pictures. I'll prove it. Hold me to that. Anyways. So, the last strategy that I'm working on. And if you've heard me talk, you've heard this before, but I think it's something. Fear, our fear, right? Not a normal fear, an irrational fear. The only way to describe it is like it's a bear or whatever, an actual danger, and it's coming at you. And we feel all those feelings someone would if they were in an actual threat environment or situation. But there's no bear. It's just us. And, our body, or at least our mind, is attacking itself because it doesn't know what to attack. There's no threat in front of us. There's no situation in front of us. Potentially something triggered it, right? There is something. But ultimately, most of the time when you're having anxiety, the threat's gone over. It's gone. And it wasn't even a real threat to begin with, and we're just left with us attacking ourselves and trying to calm down feelings and thoughts. That's a big one, because anxiety is feelings and thoughts. It is. Period. There's nothing more than that. Unless there's a chemical thing, and I'm not a smart person, so. But what are feelings and thoughts? Are they real? Well, you feel them and you think them. They're not physically real. Like a bear. Like something that a normal person would understand. But they're real in our heads, right? They're real in our imagination. And if you know me, you know why I said that word. Because that's my new strategy. If we imagine that if I feel weird, I'm going to die, and, my heart's going, it's hard to breathe, whatever, dizziness, something must be wrong and I'm going to die. Death. We are imagining in our heads and anticipating and manifesting that we are going to die. Something is horrible. Something that is horrible is happening to us, and it's over. Nothing we can do. And we go into panic. But it's all happening in our heads. And what I'm trying to do is, like intrusive thoughts, right? They just happen to you. You can't control them. You're there, but you're not really there. That's sort of like a dream, right? When you're in a dream, most of the time you're not aware. You don't have awareness. You're experiencing the dream. It's happening to you. You're really confused. And there's hardly any control in it. But if you can become aware in your dream, if you can become awake in your dream, you can do anything. You're a fucking god. You can fly, you can cast spells. It's unlimited power in your mind. I know this sounds stupid, but there's something to that. There's something to my imagination while I'm awake, consciously, is manifesting and telling me all of these lies that are in my head. I'm dying, everything's horrible, it's not going to work, I'm going to panic, whatever. We're manifesting all of this, and we're telling ourselves all these lies, and it's happening in our head. What if we could tell ourselves the truth and manifest positive, good, and love? What if we could become a superhero within our minds? What if we take that death imagination that we feel like we're going to die, whatever, and we take it a step further and we summon the physical form of death within our heads? We close our eyes and we imagine he's there and he's coming for me. And then we imagine ourselves fighting him with infinite possibilities. Remember this. Within your mind, your thoughts, your imagination, you are a god in there. You can create anything in your mind. And there's one thing that's absolutely true. Love beats hate. Courage beats fear. And the lies that death is telling you can absolutely be defeated with the truth of all the good and love and courage that is inside you. Because, you think of courage as like, oh, this guy did something that's like dangerous and he did it without fear. That's not courage. That's actually just kind of fucking dumb most of the time. You can't have courage unless you're afraid. You're afraid of something, but you do it anyways. That is courage. And from a person and people who think almost everything is going to kill them, for them to go out and try to lead a normal life or go do anything normal, there's not much more courage than that. And you can. Because these fears, these irrational fears and thoughts and feelings of death, they are lies. You've never died. So if you tell yourself the truth, I'm going to be okay, I'm going to make it, I got this, I got all these techniques and people I can call and distraction and escape, and it's okay if I fail, there's no shame, it's okay to be me. If I can't do something one day, I can try again tomorrow. I'm not done. And I'm not going to give up. I'm going to the store. I'm going to the park. I'm going to go eat at my restaurant, and maybe I'm going to leave halfway through the meal. But I'm going to keep fucking going, because only death is going to stop me, and death isn't even there. It's not real. So, tell yourself the truth. Believe that you are a superhero, because you actually are. If you tell yourself the truth and you go and face your fears, you're a superhero. You are facing the ultimate fear, which is death. And obviously, it's a figment of our imagination. But if we were to stay in our house for however long and let the fear consume us, eventually we'll get sick. And it will lead to death. Maybe it'll lead to death because that's what we want. Because this life isn't worth living anymore. This is a serious situation. As much as I've gotten up and down and made jokes, this is the fight of our lives. And I believe in anyone who's in this group, because you've already passed the first step. You've already accepted that it's anxiety. The title's in the fucking group. Anxiety and depression. What's anxiety? Thoughts and feelings. Not death. Thoughts and feelings. And that's not to belittle the fact that they're thoughts and feelings. Obviously, we all feel these physical symptoms, and we believe them, and they're scary. And I'm not trying to talk like I'm above you. I'm with you. I feel you. I hate it. I just want to be normal. I just want to be strong and brave and take care of my wife. I want to be happy. I want to take care of all the people I love. There's a lot of love in me. And I want that for everybody else. And we can do it. I know we can. And I felt weird and anxious this entire video. But I know this is the right path. This is the right way. This is the only thing that fucking matters, is getting out of this fucking hell. And saving the world. Saving everybody we love. Being there for people. Because we understand. We are heroes. If someone comes to you, you're going to listen to them. And there's so much distraction in the world. Jobs and entertainment. It's hard to find real. But you're real. You know the pain. You felt it before. And you can be there for someone. All it takes, a lot of the time, is just to know someone understands. And that someone's there for them. And you can be. We're all heroes. And it's the truth. And we need to start believing it. I love you guys.